So let's talk about this. So for those who are just joining me, just went to the Share Fest. Thank you for giving me a minute for that. I am Akila Thompkins-Robinson. I am the founder here at Girl Get Visible, also the founder online boutique stores. We are currently merging the two, so they will not be online boutique stores becoming part of Girl Get Visible. I'm also the author of my SEO workbook. So for you guys who have not grabbed the workbook, I'll talk more about that towards the end because it has a little bit to do with this, but not all about this. So I really wanna get into this. So like I was saying, I've been doing this 30 days of content. So 30, it's supposed to be 30 and 30. We skipped a few days, so more be like 30 and 45. Happy Sunday, Michelle. How are you doing? And I almost didn't make today. I was tired. I guess I'm feeling had a lot of activities. If you're on my personal page, you know that my baby graduated. Or even if you saw me, I talked about it on Instagram on Saturday too. My baby graduated. And then today I had a really good brunch with one of my best friends. And it's been kind of crazy. So I say all that to say that this conversation came up from something I posted last week and then a conversation that I had today. So, and then just my overall thoughts, my overall things. How many of you guys follow like big name people, like quote, 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 big name people? So like, how many of you guys follow like, trying to think some of the names I'm gonna, like Rachel Rogers, who I like, Denise Duffield Thomas. You can see that I'm a little bit tired. You know me, I'm gonna perk up by minute 10. I'll be like, oh, all this new energy. Mr. Rogers, Denise Duffield Thomas, James Webmore, who one of my mentors, Flynn. I'm trying to think who else. A bunch of people, Amy Porterfield, or even what's her name? Everybody follows her, and of course I forgot her name. Marie Forleo. How many of you guys know some of those names sound a little? Russell Brunson. Some of those names sound a little bit familiar. Who here says that sounds a little bit familiar? Hey, Latoya, how you doing? Follow James So Positive. I love, and he's about to launch out some really good, so we're talking about James Webmore. Somebody on Instagram loves James too. But he's also, so keep your eyes out. He's about to drop another video series. You know how he always drops those video series like once or twice a year that are really dope for entrepreneurs and being the CEO of your business, which is why I'm in his program. But I'm giving you guys the heads up. He's about to drop. So keep your eyes open for James Webmore's drop coming up. Rachel Miller, who actually is launching right now, so she did launch some really good stuff. You follow me? Thank you. Yes, I am getting to be. So Aladine said she follows the Akila Thompkins-Robinson. And I am big time and the best, which is, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I receive all of that. That is almost what we're going to talk about right now, because I can't be the best by myself. And one of the things, and so I get on this every single year, and actually funny, exactly what I was saying today earlier at brunch. I was like, I go on this rant once a year, and I usually keep the rant between myself or between a couple of people that I know. Like I rant to my friends about it, and I said, you know what? This might actually become a podcast, so I need to make this rant a little bit more global. So somebody somewhere will start to hear me, and start to feel me on this. One year, I promise it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna hear and feel me on this. Because I'm a firm believer in a tide rises all ships, and that is so true in marketing. So all the names that I just blurted out. And there's so many more. There's Ryan Dice. There's Ryan, what's last? Right? Actually, ironically, I have Ryan's book right here. Ryan Levesque. There's Ryan Levesque. There's, oh God, David Siteman Garland. Like there's all these people. And one of the ways I found all these people, let me tell you, I've been following people and following marketing folks for probably close to almost at least a good half a decade, if not a decade. Now, so I can say that, like I've been following people for a long time, and one of the ways that I always find new people is from an existing person that I'm following. Like some of you guys, like the reason why I tell you guys to share, so definitely share my stuff, right? One of the reasons why I tell you guys to share is because I know that if somebody shares out something, someone else is more apt to look at it, more apt to pay attention to it. And I can tell you, like, especially even before Facebook got as big as it is with groups and different things, but now people have even like, million people pages and stuff like that, one of the things, I listen to a lot of podcasts. And like the way I found Amy Porterfield, I think one of the ways I even found Pat Flynn. I found Pat Flynn 2 ways. It was one of my big time like favorites. That's how you found, thank you, Chantel. That's how Chantel found me. But one of the ways I found Pat Flynn is because I was looking for Michael Port. I just read Michael Port's Book Yourself Solid. Book Yourself Solid Illustrated had just dropped. So this is that long ago, y'all. Book Yourself Solid Illustrated had just dropped. I am a consumption person. So I love to like consume. When I get into something, I like the name in, which is how I got into SEO, right? I put the name in and I just search and I just read and listen to everything. I'm one of those people. And so I did that for Michael Port and wound up finding other programs that he was on, which one of them was Pat Flynn. At the same time, I had been Googling this stuff about smart passive income, also Pat Flynn. And so those two searches put me like, this guy must be something. And then from there, and if you guys don't know Pat Flynn, he has a really dope podcast, Smart Passive Income. And I will almost say, because I've been listening for years, go back to some of the earlier episodes of Pat Flynn. Like, you learn a lot. Before people got smart enough to stop talking so much, you learn a lot. And that just happens with almost anybody. People give a lot of good stuff in their first like 10 to 50 episodes of their podcast. Like, they a lot. So always go back to the basics. Go back to the beginning. But from his podcast, I heard Amy Porterfield. I started following Amy Porterfield's podcast. I heard about, I'm not sure if that's how I found out about Michael Hyatt, but it might be one of the ways I found out about Michael Hyatt, David Siteman Garland, a couple of other people. Not Ryan Levesque, but there's another guy who does summits. Oh, I forgot his name, but I'm following him too. So I follow a lot of people, which is also why I follow a lot of hymns. I follow a lot of people, and especially a lot of guys, because I heard them on somewhere else. And I saw them either on a blog, I saw them on a podcast, because that's what I usually consume. I've seen them on videos. Like, I've seen them on something else. You guys see where I'm going here, right? You already know where this is going, right? So I've seen them on something else, and then that something else has brought me into where they are now. It kind of brought me into like what I always talk about on online boutique search. You guys know the hand movement, the matrix of their business. Because once you're in and once you start talking or listening to somebody, once you start signing up for their list, because they always give you a freebie at the end. So you sign up for their list, and now you are essentially in the matrix. And a lot of the things we've heard so many people, yes, Michelle, and the reason why is because these people all have overlapping. They've overlapped. They've done collabs, as we're used to hearing them. They've done collabs. And they've overlapped their audience to the point where we probably, a lot of us are following the same people. That's why I'm just throwing these names out there. I'm like, some of these people, So one of the things I realized in smaller businesses, and I'm just going to say honestly, like amongst African-American, amongst Black business owners, I use just African-American, I'm not just going to blame it on us, amongst Black business owners, even a little women, but maybe women, Black women, like maybe it's us, I don't know, but that's who I follow, so that's who I realized. We don't collab as much. We just don't. So I was able to find all these, like I said, all these hymns, all these guys, because they have so much overlapping. And a couple of women, like Marie Forleo, she's on everybody's platform. Amy Porterfield, she's on next to everybody's platform. Denise Duffel Thomas, who I follow because of Marie Forleo and the whole Lucky Bee thing. A couple of women, hand like sprinkling the women. And no sprinkles of people of color, like no sprinkles. So sprinkling women, no sprinkle of us. Yeah, and being in two categories, that usually leaves us a little bit out. And this is not one of those rants where I'm blaming them. I'm not blaming them at all, because they've taught me a lot over the years. They've also taught me this. I'm blaming us in a sense. So if you're on my personal page, because I got a lot of business friends. Either you guys may have seen me through a business friend, or you guys have heard about another business friend. I've got a lot of friends in business, and not a lot of like just getting started thinking about it friends. I mean, I got those friends too, which is cool, love y'all. But I've got a lot of like 6 going on to 7, couple of 7-figure folks. Like I've got a lot of like big name or bigger business friends who've like been in the game, know the game, the whole good thing, right? But I can tell you one thing we just don't do enough. And I've done a little bit, and I'm going to be, so you guys will be seeing this. I'm going to be doing a lot more very intentional about this because I decided I just want to lead with, if I do it, maybe the next person to do it, that kind of thing. But we just don't collab. When people collab, they go right to the money collab. They go right to the, I'm going to be your affiliate. I'm going to be, even when people come to me, they're like, oh, do you have an affiliate program? Do you have a joint venture? Or do you have something that's like putting you right into the pockets, right into the money thing? And honestly, two things. One, that's not where any collaborations should start. You guys see the whole finger wagging on Instagram and on Facebook. Your collab should not start in nobody's pockets. Not yours, not theirs, not anyone's. It should not start with money. Secondly, that is only for the time of that promotion for the most part. Like you're collabing, yes, you're together, yes, people are seeing you guys together, but if you did that promotion with that person in January, and I don't find you until March, I would never know you two are connected. I would never put this together that, oh, she's that person, I follow her for that. She's that person, I follow her for that, and they're connected. Same thing even with, tagging people and tagging friends and stuff like that. Like I tag people all the time. People tag me all the time. That's cool and all, but so temporary. So, like I said, first, it shouldn't start in their pockets. Second, it shouldn't be so temporary. Like I should be able to track back some of these like collabs and relationships and stuff like that. And all of that, appreciate it, thank you. All of that leads to what we've been talking about. You guys know I was going here, to content. The reason why I found all these other people is because they created content together or created content for each other. So this past week, I put two things on my personal page. Again, I got a lot of friends, so I knew exactly who I was talking to. First, I said, and one was kind of, how you have a random thought and you type it out, like a random thought that's no longer in your head. So one was kind of a random thought. The other one was a little bit more intentional. First thing I put out actually was about podcasts. I'm looking for some of my friends who are podcasters, which if you're my friend and you have a podcast, let me know. I'm working on something. So one was, who has a podcast? Although I know more people with podcasts, you'd be surprised how many people did not say, hey, I've got a podcast, and raise their hand. Long story, or short story, that is it. The second, like a couple of days later, I said, I know way too many people, and I'm honest, like I said, it was an inside thought I let out. I know way too many people not to do more collaborations, not to be collaborating more with people. And again, not in your pocket collaborations. I'm not even saying like you teach it, which I've done. You teach in my course, I teach in your course. Not behind the doors collaboration. But you guys know me, I want collaborations that Google can see and Google can feel. Like I want Google to feel me, for real. Like just put it out there. I want things that are searchable. I want people to see that, hey, just like all those names I named in the beginning of this, and if you are just getting on, or hopefully you guys are sharing, right? If you just got to share, listen back. I named a whole bunch of names, and I'm sure you know some of them, if not all of them. But I want Google to see that we know each other. Like we ain't got to be the best investors, but we at least know each other. That we are, have similar audiences. We're in the same game, because that's one of the ways that the tide rises all ships. So the tide, we're all in the river, and the tide comes in, we all go up. But we don't do that. We just, I don't know why. Well, I do know why. That's what I'm going to talk about too. I know a little bit why. I know one reason why people were responding to my thing about collabing. I'm looking like, where are we going to collab at? What are we going to do? And one of the big reasons why some people that I would love to get with and love to collab with, even, some of my friends I would love to put on, one of the reasons why we won't be able to do that, at least not right now, is because they don't have a platform. They don't have any place to collab to. Yes, they may have a Facebook page. Yes, they may have an Instagram, but they've got probably a couple of, I'm not going to say like under 5,000 audience. And this is not even about your audience. This is about what we've been talking about, that Google doesn't even see your 5,000 on Facebook. Google doesn't see your 5,000 on Instagram. So even if we did something there, Google's not going to see it, so the ROI automatically tanks. I'll tell you guys, like when it comes to doing a podcast or show or something like that, I will do someone's podcast that's just getting started. I will do a podcast that hasn't even launched yet. Hasn't even launched yet, which means they have zero audience. Or, you know, they've got their own audience, but they don't have like a huge podcast audience. And I will do that interview. And you know why? The reason why is because I've got interviews that I did back in 2012 and 2013 that are still bringing people to me. People will tell me, I saw you on the Revision podcast. Revision podcast is now about 250 episodes or more than that, probably, knowing him. And I was on there probably in the 60s. And people are still listening to it because he had a platform. He's got a platform. I came on the platform, and the platform doesn't go anywhere. It's not getting buried in the algorithms. It's not like being lost in the matrix of Facebook. Like it's always there. So when people are looking for me, or people are binge listening, like I just told you guys to go back to everyone's beginning. When they're going back to the beginning, they're finding me there because he had a platform. And a lot of people, even some of the dopest people, just don't have searchable, real ROI platforms. They've got temporary ROI platforms. They've got I make money today or even make money this month platforms, but they don't have I make money next year platforms. They don't have the things that I'm doing right now are going to continue to make me profit till later platforms. So it makes it that much more difficult to collaborate with anyone. And the collaborations don't have to be, and like I said, I'm not even talking about, like what Michelle just said, I haven't looked to collaborate with anyone because I feel I don't have the audience to offer it yet. Like I just said, I was on in the very beginning. I'm on things all the time in the very beginning. I have no qualms about it. Like to me, an hour interview or an hour podcast episode is no big deal. Personally, I know some people are a little bit more, oh, you got to have this amount, you got to have that. I'm personally not that picky. So if you want me on your show, let me know. But what I am picky about, here's where I do get picky. I got to be on a platform. I've got to do a guest blog post. I've got to do a podcast. I've got to be on something that's going to stick around for 30, 60, 90 days and beyond. Because what it doesn't make sense for me to do. Now, not that I've never done it. I've done some Facebook groups. I've done some expert stuff like that. But I'm cutting that down because what it doesn't make sense for me to do is get into your Facebook group one time, spend a whole hour. I might get paid that month from it. I might get some book sales. I might get some people who are going to sign up, and I might get some things like that. And I'm not knocking that at all. But next month, I got to do it all over again. Next 3 months from now, I got to do it all over again. A year from now, I got to do it all over again. You guys see the hamster wheel running? I am personally not on the hamster wheel. So I decline some of those, unless you're like a close friend, because I always like to help friends. So I'm like, look, if I can help you, I'm cool because we're friends. But to me, that's equivalent to going to dinner with your friends. Like, you go to dinner one time, and then once the dinner's over, you got to go to dinner again in 3 months. Like, you're not going to still maintain that food. You know what I mean? Whereas if you get on each other's platforms, first you got to have a platform. So I'm telling you guys now, if you've not been listening to me for the last, 17 days into this, build a platform. Build a YouTube, and the 3 big platforms to build: YouTube channel, your blog. Well, let's start with the biggest one: blog, your site, on your site, YouTube channel, podcast. That's really it. The rest, they're not really platforms. They just aren't. They're not going to give people the ROI. They're not searchable, which is super important. We've talked about that. You know what I mean? Like, they're just not searchable. Nothing I can do. It's not Akila said. It's actually they said that they're not going to be discoverable. They're not going to be searchable. Which I'm going to tell you is how we want Facebook, especially. We put so much personal business on there. We do not want that to be searchable. That would be an HR nightmare. So, long story short. So when it came time, so like I said, I was looking at people's responses. I want to collab with them, and I probably will do something with them and reach out to other people. And like I said, I've got some things that I'm in the works for, because I'm going to be the example. I'm going to see how this works out. I'm going to lead by example. And I am going to start helping pulling people onto my platform because I know my platform works. I get people who have been on my podcast 2 years ago are like, and you guys know I am hashtag lazy podcaster, right along with hashtag lazy blogger. But people who have been on my podcast 2 years ago are still to this month hit me up with somebody hired me because they saw me on your show. The reason why is because I had a platform and I shared it with them. One of the books I read, which I'm kind of glad I read all of these like market books way before everybody else was marketing. But one of the books I read long time ago was one of Michael Hyatt's first books, if not his first book, Platforms. And he talked about, and if you guys don't know Michael Hyatt, he does Platform University, some other big books. He used to be head of a published company, older guy, and not old, but like probably Michael Hyatt's probably in his 60s. But he remembers back in the day when like your newspaper people used to actually come out with like little boxes, stand on the box to raise them above everybody else and sell their newspapers. So like that was one of the things he like talked about in the book. And for those of us who know, like especially like if you live close to the city or any city in in the North Jersey at least, you know like the 5%ers. You know how the 5%ers come out and they actually physically have a platform that they will stand on the corner, and they'll make sure that they're positioned really nice. They'll put down their platform. They'll stand up on their platform. They'll go with their bullhorn. The folks will be around them guarding them, and they will begin to preach, and they will begin to talk about what's important to them. That's what your platform is. Like in the most physical sense, the things I'm telling you guys to build right now are your online platform. They are your place that if you wanted to go on, or when you do go on, get on your soapbox. That's where soapbox actually comes from. Soapboxes used to be crates, and you turn it over and you stand on it. When you want to get on your soapbox, you've got a platform to get on. Ask yourself, tell me now in the comments, if you had something that you wanted to share, no advertising, no social, no whatever, if you had something that you wanted to be on the soapbox about, where would you share that? Do you have a place to put that it's going to stick there? It's going to stay. People are going to look up to. You can share it out with people. Most people don't have that. Most people, even in my SEO folks, and you guys know I love you guys, they are so raring to get to the repurpose so they know what to put on social. We haven't even done repurpose yet, and partially on purpose because I want to build your platform first. But it's like, I just need to know what to put on social. And I'm like, no. You need to know what to put on your own stuff. You need to put on your own soapbox. You need to be able to get up on there and be able to preach your message, share your thoughts, and then even more importantly, share the platform. When someone's up on stage and they've got everyone's attention on their platform, then they can, then and only then can they turn to the next person and say, here, you come up here with me and you tell me your testimonial. You know, that's how the 5%ers do, right? You come up here with me. And you tell me, you tell me your piece. You tell me what's going on with you. You can't do that if you don't have a place. You can't do that if you don't have a platform. So back to my whole thing of collabing with people that I would love to collab with, they don't have a place to collab. It's like back in the day when your friend didn't have a house or a yard, so you couldn't go over and play. You could only play at your house because they didn't even have a place for you to go. And your mom didn't want you out in the street. You know how that go. You guys know I'm from Patterson, right? So, it is really akin to that. It's akin to, I don't have a place for other people to come for me to even invite someone. And then when you reach out to other people and say, hey, can I be on your platform? If they want to do something where we both are mutually beneficial, there's no mutual benefit. You don't have a long-running show. You don't have a big audience. You don't have a blog. You don't have, which means you have no promise of even your future audience. You could be starting out right now. And this is really important, especially if you're starting out or just starting to build under 1,000 right now. You're not necessarily just coming with the fact that you've got under 1,000. And I know that stops a lot of people. Like Michelle even said it. I don't think I'm big enough yet. If you've got a platform, someplace where people are going to continue to get ROI, you're not just selling you right now. You're selling the future. You're not always going to be under 1,000. You're not always going to be small. You're not always going to be on episode 1 through 10. you're also selling the fact that they will still continue to get that ROI as the time goes on. That's how I've gotten guests on my podcast. Before I even started the podcast, what I sent out was emails telling people that I've got 10,000 people coming to my site. I'm launching this podcast, and while I don't have podcast numbers, I've got a future. Because I knew that I had a future. I knew that this podcast was going to go onto that platform, and I knew that I had a future for them, that I had future people coming to me, that I've got 5 figures people coming to my site per month. And that was enough to get me, and you guys can go back and listen to some of my earlier episodes when I was doing more interviews, to get me some pretty good interviews. And I have not wavered on my promise. I've actually escalated my promise because I've doubled those numbers. I've not wavered on my promise. They still get people to their businesses because they were on my show, some of them years ago. And again, if I was actually a really good podcaster, if I was not lazy podcaster, they probably would get even more. I need to do better with that. That was my 2019 goal. So I say all this to say that one of the reasons, even my bigger name folks, even people who have got an audience, I've got this, people who jump on my lives whenever, if you don't have a platform, if you're not taking those lives and putting them on YouTube and establishing a good YouTube channel, like when YouTubers collab, you guys have seen YouTubers collab, right? Like makeup collabs and stuff like that. How do they collab if only one person has a channel? And that's essentially what it is. Only one person has a channel. And so they've got people, give me your stuff, or let me come on your show. Like it's so one-sided if you don't have something. And then essentially you're not building your thing. You could be using these to build your thing. You know what I mean? Like I offer up my audience, but of course people Google them. Rachel Miller, people come to me every time Rachel Miller launches. She launches twice a year. I talked about her on, Tuesday, Wednesday, the day we talked about Facebook. So if you guys have not seen that live, go back to the Facebook live. It's actually a really dope. Go back to the live. But I mentioned her that people, every time she launches twice a year. Every time she launches, my numbers go up, way up. Not because I'm sharing her stuff, not even because I'm an affiliate, but because I've got a podcast episode. And when people are Googling her, they're finding me. They're finding every show that she was on, including my show. So as they're looking up her and they're digging into her and getting into her background, they're finding me there. So you see how all this works. You see how and why it's so important that you start building your platform. So I'm going to leave it there. I see my folks in the Facebook comments. Y'all are feeling me on this. So thank you guys. Yeah, so Michelle says she's excited. Oh, I didn't even talk about the work club. So Michelle's in the work club, Chantel's in the work club. And they know what we're building. We've got a whole collab corner in the work club. Like I am almost pushing them to work with each other, share your platforms. We are building their platforms. That is one of the big catalysts to SEO is like literally, I'm going to hold up the book again. We are creating their platform to stand on. This whole book is about you creating something for Google to find and for people to find, which is the most important. So if you aren't in the work club, I will drop the links. You can go to myseoworkbook.com if you don't have the book and the work club together. It actually closes to the public tonight. So if you're not in there, you're going to miss out on our whole summer of fun. You can catch in the replays whenever we open later on in the year. But you're gonna delay building the things that you need to build so that you can get in front of people. And that's like, people are like, oh, well, I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I'm not even going to entertain all the others. I'm going to tell you that you today need to start building a platform. That's just what it is. Because today, or this week at least, I was looking for people to collab with. And this week, I don't have a whole bunch of people I can collab with. And I don't have a whole bunch of people I can collab with because they just don't have platforms. One person just, so if you guys know, you guys can go back to, one person just was like, well, if you're looking for somebody in X, Y, Z, and in my mind, I'm like, but you don't have a platform. Like, I know you do stuff. I know you're dope. But where's your platform? You can't collab one-sided way. Like you can't do that. It doesn't work out as great for the person or you. So yes, go to the platform, join the work club. Make sure you get in there because this is all the things that we are always talking about. I'm going to post the links. MySEOworkbook.com is one of them. If you do not have the book, if you do have the book, I will post a link for that. I don't have that set up as a cute little pretty link like I do everything else. It's in here. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I put that in there. I'm going to let my Instagram folks. Hey, Instagram folks. How are you guys doing? And the next time you reach out to somebody and if they say no, I want y'all to look at your platform. I want you to look like maybe they said no because I don't have a lot to give them. Like I don't have a lot to share with them. Maybe that's why they said no. Because that is, I mean, I tell you, I do it all the time. Like I just can't. And sometimes I'm able to tell them why. Sometimes I just say no. No, I just can't. Nicely no, but no. Yeah, nothing to share here, you know? All right, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye, guys.